Our May 28, 2024 meeting is now called to order. We will have prayer by yours truly, and then the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Harrington. Will we all stand for the prayer and pledge? Let us first pray. Oh, gracious God, our Father, we thank you for this day that you've given us, that we've been able to make it through the weather, but we are praying for our friends and family in certain parts of Texas that you will give them comfort and guidance and continue to keep them as they're dealing with the aftermath of this storm. Lord God, we're also praying as school has just let out. We're praying for all of our youth, not only in the city, but in the entire parish, that you would guide their decision making, that this will be a safe and productive summer for them, that they will all enter back into school into the fall. We thank you for protecting them. And Lord God, we thank you for looking over us in this meeting. We have some important things on the agenda. We pray that we will approach this meeting, Lord God, with a mindset of civility, with a mindset not only civility, but also the mindset to move our city forward. We give you praise. It's in your Son, Jesus' name we ask. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, Councilman Harrington, for leading us in the pledge. Before we move on to our next agenda item, which is the reading and/or approval of the minutes from our May 13th meeting, just want to ask everybody to take a moment to silence your cell phones during the meeting. The City Council encourages public participation. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. We have a clock on the wall that will show you your time you have remaining. It may be limited or reduced if there are numerous speakers on a particular item. To ensure efficient proceedings, all persons addressing the City Council shall state their name and shall speak in a civil and courteous manner. Speakers shall address the agenda topic only to which they are speaking on and shall not be repetitive. Members of the audience, please respect the rights of others and do not create any noise or disturbances so as to disrupt or disturb persons who are addressing the City Council, council members who are speaking, or otherwise impede the orderly conduct of the meeting. Again, thank you for adhering to those instructions. Now, next agenda item, reading and approval of the minutes from our May 13 meeting.
Mayor, I would move to dispense with the reading of the minutes and approve the minutes as written.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to dispense with the reading of the minutes and to approve the minutes as they have been recorded. Any comment on this particular motion? All right, seeing none, Mrs. Hamilton, roll call vote.
Nielsen,
Yes.
Harrington,
Yes.
PT.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries. Okay, you see, we are lighter than we normally are, as Councilwoman Washington Eli, also Councilwoman Lloyd Smith are not with us tonight, and even our clerk of court is out as well, so we have Mrs. Hamilton stepping in for her. So, but our next agenda item, we have a proclamation as read by Councilman PT.
Thank you, Mayor. Proclamation declaring May 2024 as Older Americans Month in the city of Natchitoches. Whereas every year the Administration for Community Living leads the nation's observance of Older American Month in May. Whereas Older Americans Month, established in 1963, only 17 million living Americans had reached the 65th birthday. Whereas the theme for 2024 is Powered by Connection, which recognizes the profound impact and meaningful relationships and social connections that they have on their health and well-being. Whereas, as we celebrate the immense contributions of older Americans to our country, we emphasize the vital role that connectedness plays in supporting independence and aging in place by combating isolation, loneliness, and other related issues. Whereas Older Americans Month has been a time to acknowledge the contribution of past and current older persons to our country, in particular, those that defended our country. Whereas Louisiana includes a growing number of older Americans who contribute their strength, wisdom, and experience to our state and city. Whereas the city of Natchitoches recognizes the need to create the city that provides services and supports older Americans, need to thrive and live independently for as long as possible. Whereas the city of Natchitoches can work to build an even better community for our older residents by planning programs and working with the council on aging to encourage independence, ensuring activities are responsive to individual needs and preferences, and increasing access to the services that support aging in place. May I so move to adopt resolution number 035.
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded. The proclamation dealing with those older Americans among us, which I know all of us certainly should be and I believe are concerned about. I will say, as mayor, you know, I really enjoy going to events held by our Council on Aging. So they just had the Older Americans Day a couple weeks ago on the riverbank. You know, just a lot of activities for those participants to enjoy. And we do have a couple representatives here today, and we certainly want to continue to be a partner, see how we can grow our partnership with our Council on Aging, and really continue to live up to that title we've been given as a retirement place, and certainly want to do better in all that we do. Okay? Not sure if either one of you have a comment, but certainly happy to have you here on today.
We do want to tell you how much we appreciate your support. You've been extremely.
And I tell you what, Ms. Barrios, can we get you to come to the microphone if you would do that? Just, and we do that mainly because we all can hear you, but we do have an audience at home that cannot. And we'll get you once you get there to state your, oh, it's over here. Yes, ma'am. Just state your first and last name and then whatever remarks you're going to make.
Good evening. Linda, did you want to come up? My name is Alice Barrios. I am the director of the Council on Aging and have been for quite some time. We have been working with the city for many, many years, and they've been very supportive of us, and we appreciate that. And as the mayor alluded to, we had a wonderful Older Americans Day on the riverbank. It was great, and we appreciate all you did to help to let that transpire. If you haven't been, you need to come down and see our beautiful building. We were lucky enough to get a grant from the state of Louisiana to build a new building on the property that where we are. And there's a lot of things, I see a lot of you would fit right in. That's a nice way to say it. That's just a nice way to say it. But we're very, very active, and there's a lot going on. Just because you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, and some of us are in our 90s there, we're still extremely active, and we are a big part of this city. We love the city. Most of the seniors that are at my agency they grew up in Natchitoches. They know Natchitoches. They love Natchitoches, and they know who you are and what you are, and they all vote. So you don't forget that, okay? But once again, thank you so very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you again. We're looking for a continued partnership. Council, you got any
Y'all
comments?
do a fabulous job. You really do.
Thank you. This is my activity coordinator, Linda Turner, and she keeps the place rolling at all times.
All right, Ms. Barrios and Ms. Linda, before y'all get quite back there to your seats, we want to take a picture with you in just a second. Any comment here on this agenda item? All right, seeing none, Mrs. Hamilton, roll call, roll call vote.
Nielsen,
Yes.
Harrington,
Yes.
PT.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries. Would you all, we're going to get a quick picture with you, okay? All right, Councilman PT and I, let's do it.
Thank you, Council. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
All right, next item is, we have actually a couple ordinances up for final. And first one is read by Councilman Harrington.
This is ordinance 11 of 2024, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Natchitoches to award the bid for water treatment facility improvements, Phase 1, bid number 0667. And this, 2 bid proposals were received, and Lemoyne Company LLC out of Lafayette was the lowest bid at $9,217,000. This has been introduced previously, discussed previously, and I move to adopt ordinance 11 of 2024.
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded. Like Councilman Harrington said, this is something we've talked about, extensively. Matt gave some pretty good remarks the last meeting on the 13th. We had the bid opening, I think, Councilman Nielsen, maybe back in April and end of March. And so, like most things are unfortunately happening now in terms of bids, costs are coming back higher than what you originally anticipated. So we were about 1.3 over the engineer's design, engineer's estimate, I should say. And I just want to point out that this was a partially funded, the water treatment project, partially funded by a $5 million grant from the Water Sector Commission. So we were grateful to get that grant. It didn't fund all of it. We do have this overage, but I will say we'll be on the agenda of the Water Sector Commission for their June meeting to see if we can somewhat close the gap, ask for additional funds, and hopefully we're successful with that. We want to, of course, get as much as we possibly can, but the thought is to go ahead and move forward with the project now, and hopefully Phase 2 we'll see reduction, or maybe it won't be as expensive as we maybe thought it would be, but we do have to go ahead and get the plant built. So that's what this is about. Open the floor for any comments here.
Ready to get the project going, and we have some guests from Lemoyne Company with us tonight.
Oh, okay.
Here staying at bed and breakfast.
Okay, yeah, we met at the bid opening. Any comment you'd like to have? If you do, we want to get you. Want you to be on camera. And just, sir, state your first and last name.
My name's Dennis Grimion. I represent the Lemoyne Company. I wanted to tell you we are excited to have the opportunity to participate in this improvement projects, and not sure what Phase 2 is, but I can assure you we will be looking forward to possibly being your general contractor on that one as well. I've been doing this for a long time. It's the first time I've ever come to a council meeting, and I'm glad we did and shared it in your beautiful city, quite honestly. We are staying at the Queen Anne, and intend to go to Mayu's and have some dinner in a little while. Going to check around the town tonight. We're looking forward to it. And just let Drew Werner know, or I'll let him know, that, it's approved. And he'll get the notice of contract sent to the water sector to get that ball rolling.
Right, and we're glad you're here, your wife as well. You all are based where? Where your company based?
Pardon?
You guys are based where?
We have 3 major offices, Lafayette, one in Baton Rouge, and one in New Orleans. So we have the I-10 corridor pretty well covered, and we have a small satellite office in Lake Charles. We've started bidding more work up here because we've been able to get personnel that live up here, live in Shreveport and live in Monroe. And so we've concentrated our efforts to expand north. And fortunately are doing work for the city of Monroe. We had some Amazon projects both in the Shreveport area and Monroe. And so anyway, it's been good. We've done some hospital work up here as well. So we're looking forward to it.
So our superintendent is going to be out of Shreveport, so
Yeah.
Okay.
that's pretty much
He's
local.
about 55 miles from here.
Yeah, and Phase 2 is going to be rehabbing Plant 3 primarily. Mr. Booker, I don't know if there's anything else, but I know primarily rehabbing Plant 3. Yeah, I've just kind of let you know that. So I think, do we know anything about timeline in terms of construction?
I would like us to start, just call this June, like us starting about 6 weeks.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
If
So
you can get the
mid-July.
funding in place and the contract signed for that, and you think you said you were on the water sector agenda already, so we're moving forward.
Okay, good deal.
And I'll get on the phone tomorrow morning and start contacting our vendors and subcontractors. Let them know.
All right, council, anything for? Perfect. Again, happy to have y'all up, going around the town. and
Oh, we're
thank you
looking forward to it.
Making some
Thank
good selections about where to stay and where to eat and everything, okay?
All right.
All right?
Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot for that.
Thank y'all.
Trying to just grow our water capacity now. Yeah.
Ready to go.
Any other comment? All right, seeing none, Mrs. Hamilton, roll call vote.
Nielsen,
Yes.
Harrington,
Yes.
PT.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries. Excited about that getting started. All right, next item is also read by Councilman Harrington.
This is ordinance 13 of 2024. It's the fifth supplemental bond ordinance authorizing the issuance by the City of Natchitoches, State of Louisiana, of its taxable utilities revenue bond, Series 2024, in the amount of $2,700,000, prescribing the form, terms, and provisions of said bonds, providing for the payment thereof, entering into certain other covenants and agreements in connection with the security and payment of said bonds, selling said bonds to the Drinking Water Revolving Loan Fund, and authorizing the execution of a loan and pledge agreement and other loan documents with the Louisiana Department of Health, providing for the delivery of the bonds to said department, and providing for other matters in connection therewith. And this has been previously introduced, and this is for final vote. I move to adopt ordinance 13 of 2024.
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded. Y'all, this is that lead service line project. I think Alex Washington gave us a pretty good explanation. This is just the financing part of it. Alex, I don't know if you have any other comment you'd like to make?
No, our next step is for LDH to provide us with the loan documents for the mayor to execute, and then we should move forward to closing.
Okay. And this is that one that's, I think 51% loan, 49% grant.
Grant, it is.
Right, of the 2.7. So right at about 50% of it will be a grant for us, and
And the loan is.
zero interest loan. So, and it's something that's federally mandated by the bipartisan infrastructure law, with, that was written in 2021. So you've been seeing some folks go around with yellow vests, orange vests, something like that going around. So that's what they're doing, and we'll get an update soon in terms of what they're finding. I know somebody brought it up to me a little bit. Any comment on this particular item? All right, seeing none, Mrs. Hamilton, roll call vote.
Nielsen,
Yes.
Harrington,
Yes.
PT.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries as well. All right, two really, really good things. Next, we have introduction, and then after that, two resolutions. But the introduction is read by Councilman PT.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 014 of 2024, an ordinance declaring certain buildings unsafe and recommending that the same be demolished or put into repair to comply with the building code, authorizing notice to be served, fixing a hearing date, and appointing curator to represent absentees. Whereas the Director of Planning and Zoning and City Building Inspector have filed written reports with the City Council declaring that the buildings listed below are in dangerous and unsanitary condition, which makes them unsafe, and recommending that the said buildings be demolished or put into repair to comply with the building code. All right, we have a list of properties. I think we got some pictures too, so we'll kind of scroll along. The first property is located at, the owner, Natchitoches Parish School Board, 310 Royal Street, Natchitoches, Louisiana, 71457. This property location is at 415 and 419 Martin Luther King.
That's the school board. I don't have, well, as soon as we get it up, we'll be able to show you the different pictures, but you can go through all of them, Chris.
Okay. Second property is located at 609 Jackson Drive. The owner is Demetrius Thomas and Katrina Pfeiffer. Third property listed is at 506 Hedges Street. Owner Ophelia Jackson, co-owner Charles Wamber Sr. Fourth property is located at 1313 St. John Street. Owner Dolphy Benjamin Sr. and Dolores Benjamin. Fifth property is located at 314 and 316 Duplex Street, and the owner is James R. Smith, co-owner Joyce McMillan. Next property, 401 Jean Marie Street, and the owner is Brenda Smith, and the co-owner is Kim Smith. Next property, 1025 Pavish Street, owner James Clark. 931 3rd Street, the owners J.B. White Properties, LLC. Next property, 1312 Ash Street, the owners Lotus and Irma Johnson. 436 Prather Street, owner Benny Holmes and co-owner Christopher Carter. Next property, 1221 St. John Street, and the owner is Eleanor Westmoreland. 324 East 3rd Street and 245 Carver Street. Owner is Sidney Nora and co-owner Joyce McMillan.
I have some technical difficulties with these things tonight, so I don't want to show everything. But I do want you to know that for the school board, we did get appraisals for the asbestos remediation if the city was to take it on. To do the big building by itself, that's gonna be over $15,000. If we do the smaller building, that's $6,000. That's if we take it on and not use.
To demolish, you mean?
To do just the asbestos remediation.
Oh,
itself.
just
It does
asbestos,
not include
oh.
the demo or anything like that.
But you can't demo it without asbestos, right? The asbestos part.
Yeah, the asbestos part will have to be done first.
Is it determined who actually owns it? I remember there was an issue that maybe the school board didn't actually own it, and,
According to the information that I'm provided, it's still showing that the Department of Education, that the school board still owns the property. And that's all I have right now. So if anything is done, they would have to do it, or we'll have to take on the cost of making sure it's all done. I'm not sure how to make this thing work. Okay. So we had Mr. Joseph Miguez to go in also to take pictures. If you remember, this building has burned twice so far. All right, this is the back. It's a pretty large area, and there's asbestos throughout the whole facility from front to back. And I don't want to go through all the pictures. This is just the, remember when we all did the walkthrough? It didn't look like this at all. They've gone through and we have the doors closed now, but they've bursted out all the windows, front and back, throughout the whole facility. They've actually gone inside the building and literally destroyed all the walls. They've torn down the roofing, they've pulled out all of the fixtures inside. They've really ransacked it. It's nothing like when we did the walkthrough before. As you can see, all the pictures here where they've taken down all of the blinds. It's grown up pretty bad, even though we've gone in and we've cut the property at least 3 times already. Now, this is where they've gone in and they're pulling out all of the insulation. They're really just destroying the whole place. What's happening, though, we have so many homeless people, they're deciding to make this their home. And they're tearing it up pretty good. This is where one of the areas where it burned. And this is the outside.
Let's just hold back into what Councilman Harrington was saying, that's who really owns it. Yeah, it has been
And all I
an
have
issue.
is what the tax assessor has, and that's the school
Yeah.
board.
Well, I think when you say school board, not really our local school board, really
No,
the
the
state
Department of
school.
Education, right,
Bessie.
yeah. Bessie.
As we call it, the Board of Elementary and Secondary Education.
See, I'm not
But we
sure.
didn't
That's been his
send,
finger pointing.
we sent notice to the local school board, we didn't send notice to Bessie?
I don't have an address for Betsy, I only have what the local, or what our tax assessor has,
Taxes on it.
and that's all I have. I don't have anything.
And that's the local school board paying taxes?
I'm not sure they're
Oh.
paying taxes, I mean, but that's the address that I have.
Okay. Didn't anybody get a notice? I guess it was Harrington.
Yeah,
the
we
same?
send them certified. Every notice that we send out goes out certified. I haven't gotten the card back yet saying that somebody signed for it or if they left it at the post office. I
Okay.
don't have anything on that. How do I get to the next one, Steve? And we have a lot of pictures, but I know we're taking up so much time, but I do have these videos. And I have other pictures, but I do want to make reference that we do have property owners that are here. This is only introduction for condemnation. The property owners still have time to put reports to take care of any of these properties that we have on this list. I do have one, which is the it's 324 East Third Street and 245 Carver Street.
Yeah.
Those properties have been on our radar for quite some time. I have video from a property owner that's across the street that shows activity that's happening that I think you guys really need to take a look at. Back in, I think it was 2015, we did an emergency condemnation on a property because of the drug use, everything that was going on at this property. I've spoken with the homeowners, and they're aware of the situation. They let me know that most of the people that was associated with this property are no longer here. They're all elderly people. They're 80, 90 years old. They can't take care of the property. What they're recommending that if we need to demolish the property, go ahead on and move forward with it. Again, I do recommend that if you got a minute, come take a look at the videos. It'll be something that you need to see for both properties. It's a green and yellow house right on the corner. Okay? And those were the main concerns right now. The other ones are properties that I think if the property owners wanted to repair them, they could. They will have time to do so. This was just an introduction, but again, I think on the 6th, or maybe the 16th of next month will be our final decision. At that time, I'll let you know if anyone has actually come through the pool permits for the properties.
Any comment about the properties that own? Again, this is, as Ms. Rock noted a couple times, it's just being introduced at this point. And just none of these are factored into that $205,000 grant.
Not these.
None of these will be
But
for that.
Remember, though, there were properties, though, there was a property like the hotel, because they had residents living in the property at the time. We had to remove that cost.
Okay,
So with that cost being removed, along with several others that either have already been demoed by the property owners, that add. So these next properties that we have could actually be added to that grant
okay,
until we reach that mark.
okay. And I don't know, any other homeowners here want to say
They are,
something?
we do have homeowners here. 609 Jackson is here. If you don't have to say anything, but if you like, she and I have talked about a property. She has questions, and I think she's wanted to move forward. We're taking care of what she needs to take care of, along with 401, or it's 401. There was a new one. Say that again, 401 Jean Marie. They will be moving forward to pull a permit to take care of their properties also.
Both of them different things?
Different locations, yes.
Okay. Right,
That's
all right. See- Yes, ma'am.
Is there any area that you do, do y'all take any measures to try to prevent this from getting to this point like you showed me? Because I see that trade schoolhouse back there. Do measures be taken prior before they get that dilapidated?
Yes.
And let me,
Yes,
Chantrell, let me just repeat the question just for, the member of the audience asked, does the city take any measures before it gets to this point of being on the agenda for condemnation? All right.
Yes, ma'am, it does. A lot of these properties, though, they're old. They've been sitting out there for quite some time. Some of them have been bought from other homeowners that, like I stated before, with the 3 the 3rd Street, those folks don't live here. They live out of town. So one of our biggest problems that we have here is that the properties are left to family members that are no longer here. So the city will do as we can to help maintain those properties, but it's a cost to us. So we reach out as much as we can to have the homeowners to come out and take care of them. A lot of them do if they can, but in a situation where houses burn, that takes a little bit more effort. There's insurance that's involved, there's other things that take place before the city can get involved. And we do take the necessary steps. If we see a property that has been abandoned for whatever reason, for whatever amount of time, we will reach out to the homeowners. But again, the problem is a lot of these abandoned homes are left here by people that don't live here anymore, or they're elderly, and they don't have the means to take care of the properties.
Okay. I see the illustrious Dr. Grant Eloy has graced us with his presence. Would you like to say something? Have you?
The property on MLK.
And here, sir, what we have to do at our meetings, I don't know about your meetings, sir, we have to state our first and last name.
We don't have to do that at the school board meeting. It's good to hear that. Grant Eloy. So the property on MLK, we had done a, what's the legal term? We had researched it with Tommy Murkison, and they had told us that the ownership was with the Bessie Board, which in the 1950s created these type schools. And now that Bessie is really not in the business of doing that, now you have LDOE, Louisiana Department of Education, is the bigger entity. Neither one really knows who owns it, and currently that property is resting with Department of Administration because Bessie transferred it to them. Everything we've gotten from Mr. Murkison's research is that we own a small part of it. Now, I think at the assessor's office, it may say school board or school or something somewhat ambiguous. I'm not sure exactly what it says. But we did that because we were looking into tearing it down about 3 years ago. And prior to wanting to do that, we wanted to make sure, obviously, there was no ownership issues. When we did that, we were told that Bessie owned it, and then actually we stopped mowing grass and all that because we didn't want to use taxpayer funds to be doing any sort of upkeep on something that we didn't own. It's been told to us, no less than 10 or 12 times that it is definitely owned by Bessie. The problem right now is Bessie has a staff of, I don't want to lie to y'all, but I think a staff of 5 and a budget of only probably less than $1 million because they only serve as a body to, like a school board. So they don't really have a functioning staff. We reached out to LDOE. Their lawyers can't find anything past probably the 70s to say anything about any agreements. We don't have anything that says anything about any agreements about anything reverting back. So that's where we're at now. And so when I was watching y'all on the thing, and when I saw that on there, we want to work with y'all because we definitely agree it's a dilapidated piece of property. But we don't know where our responsibility is, y'all's responsibility, and to be honest, I think LDOE's or Bessie's, or DOA at this point.
But you school board does own the white Title I building?
So that's under contention. I can pull the plats tomorrow. There is a piece we own. I want to say the white building we do. I'm not for sure on that. And if the white building is of our ownership, then we would definitely be interested in getting that ball rolling. Mr. Wascom is obviously going through budgeting for the next fiscal year, and so he's open to doing that. I know the board is very adamant about wanting to take our responsibility in that piece, but probably 90% of the project is what's remaining. And I'll be very honest with y'all, I don't know where to go next with it being kind of in limbo or purgatory with the state. So
Right.
We can work together, get our lawyers with y'all's lawyers. I'm not sure what the next step is on the larger piece of it.
The mayor, I contact Tommy and I speak to him, we get on the same page.
And I can send all the documents that he sent us originally, I can send them over to you, but I do think you're right. There's a small, probably less than an acre of just, I think it's where the playground is that we own. And it's kind of inside a courtyard, an interior courtyard, and then we might own the white building, which it's minor compared to the rest of it. Now, it has to be, the asbestos needs to be addressed, or whatever that word for it is, but the rest of it's the heavy lifting.
Yeah. Councilman PT, is there any remark? This is your district.
Yeah, I had spoke with Ralph Wilson, and he told me that Title I building, the white building, was owned by the school board.
I think he's correct.
Yeah.
And I don't know, all this goes so back and forth because I think the last person who occupied was the parish when they had Head Start.
It's pretty convoluted. It's a convoluted deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but no, we definitely want to work with y'all, and that's when I saw that, I was like, oh, I don't want anyone to think that we're not, we're one of these delinquent folks or anything like that. This has just been muddy, to say the least.
Right. And I know PT has probably been getting it.
We get it all the time. People
Yeah.
still think we own it, and for good reason. It's a school building, and so we got to find some resolution.
We've got folks saying, hey, come on, what are y'all going to do about this building? So
Yeah.
it's kind of why we thought, well, we can try to do this route. And but yeah, it's not a tomorrow process. So I think this one is a 30-day layover, isn't it? Mhm.
And-
So that gives us some time to.
But it sounds like it needs to be renoticed and just notice the state, notice Bessie, notice the parish. I mean, just
All interest parties.
shoot it out to notice everyone and start over on that. That's what it sounds like needs
And
to be
did y'all notice us? Because I haven't received, okay, it's,
And I also did a mortgage certificate, which gives me everyone that's listed.
oh, I'm sorry.
Before we send out any notices or do anything, the first thing we do is research, which is a mortgage certificate that shows ownership in a piece of land. And the one that I received didn't show anything about Bessie or anybody like that. So again, that's the only information that I had. But if you have an address for me, I'll be more than willing to send out whatever needs to be sent out to all parties. But we do a mortgage research certificate going back 20, 30 years before we send out any notices.
And I'll give you a list of the places we want it sent to.
Okay.
And it
And I
sounds
think
like
it's-
you said you'll talk to Tommy and.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think we all are trying to get to the same place. Got a dangerous piece of property and
And I'm not saying that Mr. Murkison is wrong because we went with what he said, obviously, but there is a chance that you may get deep into some Bessie records that says the property reverts to someone upon not being utilized for whatever there is. Obviously, we would be that someone. If that's the case, then we're not gonna, I can speak for the
Right.
board on this, we're not gonna skirt our responsibility in that regard, so.
And I will say, Dr. Eloy has been a great partner to work with from the city-school board relationship. We worked together on a couple
Well, and
things
we're
already.
meeting Thursday, so
Right.
maybe I can have some answers from Tommy and folks by then, so.
Okay. Well, thank you, sir, for coming on in here today.
No worries, thank
Good
y'all.
to see you. All right. Okay. Oh, she's got something you want to say? And state your first and last name, and please tell us which property.
Katrina Thomas, Pfeiffer, 609 Jackson Street. I wanted to get up here to let you guys know that we aren't delinquent either. We have been trying to find someone to tear down the property, but we hadn't had any luck. But I finally got in contact with someone, and they are coming out tomorrow, so by the 30 days, I pray that is down, it's taken care of. I think one of the things kind of did hold us back was what we were gonna do with the property. And I finally come to a conclusion of what we can do, and that she has stated, about what has been done to keep people out. I think for the most part, not necessarily the homeless, but the kids. I know that we do have some things in place for them to do, but it's always opportunity for more things for them to do. So on our property, we're actually gonna put like a small, tiny house type thing so that they can have like a recreational place in that area. Cause I know that the kids probably have been in and out that house. I know they have because they don't have anything to do. So I just kind of want to put that out there for everyone to know that we just didn't forget and just,
Yeah, and just make sure you have that communication with Chantrell and her staffs. They're the ones that, kind of give us the pulse of each of these properties that are on the agenda to know if people are moving forward. But thanks for being here tonight. Okay? All righty. Again, this is just for introduction. So this is 30 days from now, and again, in that period, like I know Ms. Rock is gonna let us know the status of each one of the properties that we introduced tonight, okay? All righty. All right, so we have two resolutions on for tonight. The first one is read by Councilman Nielsen.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution number 36 of 2024, resolution approving the execution of the contract by and between the State of Louisiana Division of Administration, Office of Community Development, and the City of Natchitoches for the fiscal year 2023 Louisiana Community Development Block Grant in the amount up to $1,142,566 for street improvements within the City of Natchitoches, and whereas the State of Louisiana Office of Community Development, Division of Administration provides funding for needed infrastructure and long-term capital improvements, and whereas the City of Natchitoches has been awarded the fiscal year 2023 LCDBG Street Improvement Grant in the amount up to $1,142,566 for street improvements within the city, and whereas it is necessary and proper that a contract by and between the Division of Administration and the City of Natchitoches be executed between the parties establishing the terms and conditions of the grant. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Honorable Ronnie Williams, Jr., Mayor, is hereby authorized, empowered, and directed to sign any and all documents necessary for the execution of this contract. And I move that we adopt resolution number 36 of 2024.
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded to adopt this agenda item. All right, this is through the Office of Community Development in Baton Rouge. It's just over $1.1 million for street improvements. And basically those housing developments within the City of Natchitoches. This is a low-to-mod income grant, so you have to apply for it. It has to be applied in a specific area. You know, certain criteria has to be met. But yeah, I think each of those housing developments, Brahma Drive, one of them off Virginia, is that Virginia, Highland Park, Virginia Avenue? Yeah.
Breedertown.
You got one in Breedertown?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's JCW, right? So yeah, those housing developments doing some street work there. Okay? So I don't know if there's a match to this. I was looking. I don't want to tell you there isn't, but I don't think there is.
I don't think so.
Let's see. Anyway. Okay, but yeah, this is a good win for the city to get some improvement from this state agency, and like I said, funded by the state agency. Okay. Do you remember, Randy, do we have a match?
Mayor,
Or it's all in the grant?
I don't think the CDBG program typically has match.
Okay. So okay, no match, so that's good. I know we like to hear that, right? Okay. Any comment here about this agenda item? All right. Seeing none, Mrs. Hamilton, roll call vote.
Nielsen,
Yes.
Harrington,
Yes.
PT.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries. Last agenda item is also a resolution and also read by Councilman Nielsen.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution number 37, resolution approving a cooperative endeavor agreement between the City of Natchitoches and the State of Louisiana Office of Community Development for South Natchitoches drainage improvements and further providing with respect thereto. So I'm glad to get this project going.
Okay.
And it's in the amount of $1,192,566,
No, sir.
isn't it?
You got to do the other one. Resolution number 37 of 2024. They gave me a little bit more money.
That's not what I'm looking at.
Okay, you got it? All right, he got it for you.
There you go, thank you. Whereas Louisiana Office of Community Development awarded the City of Natchitoches up to $3,162,500 for South Natchitoches drainage improvements for the CDBG MIT Round 2 program, whereas the South Natchitoches Drainage Improvement seeks to improve drainage and reduce flood risk in selected areas of South Natchitoches, including Fairgrounds Road, Town South and Pan Am subdivisions, and Industrial Drive. And whereas the City of Natchitoches Drainage Improvements desires to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement with the state of Louisiana through the Office of Community Development to obtain the funding to complete the South Natchitoches drainage improvements. And whereas a copy of the proposed cooperative endeavor agreement is attached hereto and made part hereof. And I move to adopt resolution number 37 of 2024.
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded. I almost want to amend it a little bit because they say town south. You know, we like to say South Town and Penny Am.
Either one.
Yeah, I know. Either one.
Town South, South Town.
But those are those areas, Fairground, Town South, Pan Am, Industrial Drive, which is where Alliance Compressors is that right? Yes. Mm-hmm. All right, so.
It's a big plot of ground that
Yep.
it takes the drainage, and with the bypass recently being redone to help with that, that should improve the drainage in that area in the south part of the city tremendously.
This is also going through the Office of Community Development, so no match here either. It's a part of the Watershed Initiative Round 2. Nick Verrett actually wrote the one that, well, you read two of them, but wrote both of those. So if we're looking on the agenda just tonight, that's over $10 million in grant funding just on tonight's agenda. The $5 million in water sector, about 1.3 or so with the lead service line. You got the street improvement at over $1 million. And then this is over $3 million. So you got about $10 million right there, over $10 million in grant funding. So it's really good, and these things are moving forward. The water treatment is a real idea. It's gonna happen. It's not just imaginary, so we're excited. Okay, any other comment here? All right, seeing Mr. Stacy. I was doing good. Mrs. Hamilton, roll call vote.
Nielsen,
Yes.
Harrington,
Yes.
Petey.
Yes.
All righty. Okay, we have it that our next city council meeting is on June 10th. All right. And we also want you to download Regroup, especially as we're getting ready for hurricane season. We'll put out a press release here pretty soon. Hurricane season, of course, starts June 1. What we're hearing is that it's probably going to be an active season. We hope that doesn't happen. We know how Louisiana is affected, but we want you to download Regroup. Also want you to download the Go Natchitoches app. Inauguration, I think Councilman Nielsen, you've already sworn in for the next term. What about you, Councilman Hampton? You sworn in too?
Tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow, okay. So we're gonna have a small ceremony, but it's gonna be on the riverbank at 6 p.m. And we are monitoring the weather, so just look out for us on Facebook. But if everything goes well, 6 p.m. Friday at the riverbank stage. And so, like I said, it's not going to be a very long program. All righty, the next agenda item. So we do these themes for Farmers Market, so Signs of Summer. They just had the Battle of the Badges, and we shall not say who won, right?
No.
Right, Chief Collins? But it wasn't any of our folks. It wasn't our fire department or our police department. So, but anyhow. But that is Saturday. We got our farmers market going. I think we have another theme coming up with the next one, Feed the Birds. All right, so they have these themes for each Saturday. So make sure we patronize the folks with the farmers market. Should be a couple more announcements. Paint Your Partner does a date night coming up, the Natchitoches Art Guild and Gallery. On Front Street, $59 per couple. Just an event to do. Sounds like it's going to be some fun, but just wanted to make sure we bring that out to you. This is one of those that were on our Go Natchitoches app. Another one that's from the Go Natchitoches app that we're putting here, the American Cemetery Tour, which is going to be June 7th at 11 a.m. It's free and open to the public. All right, so that's a little something to do. Tour, familiarize yourself with some of the notable people who are buried in American Cemetery, the oldest cemetery in Natchitoches.
Oldest cemetery in Louisiana Purchase.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Makes
Every
sense.
year they redo, bring one back up to.
One of the grave
repair
sites?
it. Yeah.
Okay.
You'd be amazed with
Pretty
some,
neat.
tons of American Revolution graves in there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So you've gone through it.
George Washington's personal advisor and personal surgeon's buried there. It's
Pretty neat.
If you haven't gone, check it out. It's pretty
Way
amazing.
down here, okay.
Yeah.
Man, that's cool. I'm
Very
interested in how did
accessible.
they get way over here? George Washington people.
It's a long
You got
story.
Yes, long story. Y'all got time? No, I'm messing with you. All right, so Mommy and Me, Natchitoches Art Guild, so they're doing some things. All right, this is gonna be June 18th from 5:30 to 7:30, so they got a couple events going on with the Natchitoches Art Guild. All right, what else we got there, Steve? I think you got another one that you just hit. Okay, Juneteenth festival, and you're hearing it here, so we're gonna do the basketball tournaments, of which we know I'm gonna be the star of the game. All right. City versus parish, celebrity game, so we've got a team of people putting that together, so look out for some details. It's gonna be held on June 15th, so just a couple Saturdays away. And we've got the kids on, mechanical bull going, pop-up shops at the MLK Recreational Center. And then you're hearing it here first, we got Go DJ Chris, Gypsy the Band, which is an extraordinary band, and then Chris Artawan. These are gonna be our folks who are going to be performing on the Riverbank stage, so that'll start. Did we say a time on the Riverbank stage, 6 p.m.? Did we say that? Starting at 6 p.m., 6 to 10. It'll culminate with fireworks and all of that, so we really want to thank our sponsors. Couldn't do it without our various sponsors who have contributed, and we certainly want to give them some really good recognition for giving their hard-earned dollars to make this event possible, okay? So this is all free admission. Is that right? Yeah, free admission, okay? All righty, I think that's the last one. Okie dokie, all right. At this time, we'll hear a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion is made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, meeting is adjourned. Have a good night, folks.